when Teddy got the when Teddy got like the little, the little tall, slender fans, the little updated fans now. What's good, y'all, and happy Monday, and welcome back to another recap here with your girl Ash. That is me, and welcome to Ashland, especially if you are new here on at Ashland. We do recaps, vlogs, mom stuff, family stuff, fashion, all that good little stuff, all here in the land of Ash. So if that is something that you think you might be interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you definitely want to bang that bell so you can make sure you get notified when we drop these videos. So tonight we're doing a recap for Black Ink Crew, Truth or Consequences, and can I say, I think it was just good to get some laughs, to get some lightness, to see some women's empowerment. If you know me, you know I'm always going to be down for the girls, having some girl time, uplifting each other, all that. So, getting getting on into it. So, let's go ahead and knock out. Let's talk about Bay. So, Bay's mom has came to visit, and we know Bay is now dating Jay, and this is going to be an interesting trip because she's gonna have to let her mom know that she's dating now, and not only is she dating somebody else, they're living together now. I was like, didn't really say much or whatever last week. I guess maybe it hadn't hit me. Maybe they didn't necessarily say. But after 2 months, they're living together. Anybody else? Is that not like, okay, hold on, babe, pause. Like, yes, y'all, 2 months, they're living together. And I'm like, but you know what? But you right, babe. This your life. You're gonna do what you wanna do. So you might as well man up and not be scared and go ahead and just tell your mom. Like don't be no punk. Like you said, this your life. So I'm trying not to judge. People move how fast, how slow, however they wanna go, whatever. But I think what it is for me, it was like after things how things went with Nico's dad, don't you definitely want to make sure, especially now that Nico is here, that you're selective and just, if not even selective about the guys you're choosing, maybe just a bit not rushing to go and live with each other, but nonetheless. So they go and meet up with Jay, have lunch with Jay, and basically Jay lets the cat like out of the bag or whatever or whatnot. Like he's, showering her mom with gifts, obviously trying to make a good impression. He's definitely, I think, making a good impression. But she's like, I need to make sure you're a good guy first, you know, you don't I don't need this, I don't need these gifts or whatever or whatnot. So basically, like I said, he ends up spilling the beans about them living together. And even though Bay's mom doesn't speak, full on English, like you can clearly tell that she understands some. So to a degree, like when he's talking about living together, and Bay's like, no. He's basically saying that he wants to live together. Like her, Mama Bay was like, no, that's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. And what you was true, like he said, when we all go back to the place together, if she realized that I'm not leaving, that's when you was gonna tell her? Yeah. Like, but I get it. Cause it's kinda like at the same time, like when I got pregnant with was that I get yes. When I got pregnant with Journey, I was not. I hid it from my dad. I hid it from my dad. I'm a whole grown person living out on my own. Me and her dad is living like I had a this fear or whatever. And for Bay, like that's like I think it's more of like a cultural thing or whatnot. And they're like so much strict in their culture and like what they allow and don't allow and things like that. And for me, being a PK and coming from church and have never been married and on my third child, it was just like to a degree, um it's like somewhat of shame to my dad. So to it, like I could definitely get her as much as I'm like, you might as well just go in and tell her, just like I might as well have went on to tell my dad, which I eventually did. But I can definitely just totally understand, why she did not tell him. But everything nonetheless seemed to have went okay. Like, she, seeing, their interaction, their family dynamic. So according to Bay, that was, that trip was a worthwhile trip. I was a worthwhile trip, but her meeting Jay went well or whatever, basically. So in the shop or whatever or whatnot, basically. So y'all remember though a couple of episodes when I was talking about how like some of these people who be in the shop, but we didn't really get a storyline. Like they're not like like main characters. So Bucks, it's with an X, so it's not Buck, so it got to be like Bucks or whatever, whatnot. So basically, they're in the shop and they're talking about where Buck's been. Buck's been on basically he hasn't been in the shop. Something about they seen him in Colombia. So fast forward or whatever or whatnot, Bucks comes and because they're making jokes that basically you only go to Colombia basically like to get work done, to get some type of surgery, to get of course like cosmetic wise or whatever whatnot basically. So they basically like joking and basically cracking jokes on what Bucks basically went to Colombia and got. But lo and behold, Bucks really did come back, and he did come back and actually have some work done. He had got his teeth done while in Colombia, and can I say that they look good. Like Bucks, like it's definitely given an elevation. I feel like to his look and how he look, but them shits is big as fuck. Why did when Teddy got the when Teddy got like the little the little tall slender fans, the little updated fans now, it was I was I was so weak. I was so weak, and I think I love it too when we can see when you see people who don't take themselves too seriously or don't get so much offended about little jokes or whatever or whatnot, basically like saying that he got like the Caesar teeth or whatever or whatnot. Like they they were killing me. They I was super weak, but nonetheless, like Bucks was taking it well. Like he like, yo, like I went and got my teeth done. Yes, I did. Like, let's get with it. So they're like, look, like after the guys are like I think it was Spider's idea and stuff like that, but they're basically like, yo, like we gotta go out, we gotta go celebrate Buck's teeth, like we gonna have a guys' night, and we gonna go and like just turn up and just get some ladies around Bucks and his new teeth, right? So once they throw out that idea, Tati's like, oh, okay, well, fine. Y'all do that. If anything, the women are, what, needs to be, uplifted and brought out or whatever or whatnot. And really, she made a valid point. What really brought that on was she had pointed out how C's had left it to Van and I was ready to say Dawn. I left it to Van, um, Alex and Spider to do that little interviewing or whatever or whatnot. And she was saying how basically for stuff like that, C's had the women basically take care of a lot of stuff or whatever. But and when you think about it, he did entrust the ladies or whatever to a lot of that stuff. And it was like, C's, what have you been thinking? Like, yes, I agree with Tati. You need to go back to that. You need to get back to having that female hand in a lot of that stuff or whatever or whatnot. So with that, Tati was just like, we need to, be appreciated. We need to be uplifted. I want to have, like a girls' day. And can I just say that I did not know really what to expect out of Tati's girls event. Matter of fact, Tati's thing. It was Tati's thing. I did not know what was to come out of Tati's thing. But can I just say that sis really came through. Like she had the shop looking like real homey, real safe, very zen like. They was in there burning sage and Palo Santos. Poor Crystal, she didn't know what she was in there burning. But girl, get up on your stuff. Get up on your stuff. That was Palo Santos you had. But nonetheless, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but I know what I'm talking about though. So nonetheless, um, with that as well, Tati had them, basically, so all the women that worked in the shops or whatever, not just the one in Brooklyn, 1 to 5th, they came through, and then they had them as well bring somebody that they felt like would, could benefit from that type of event. Like it was like appetizers, some wine, just, a zen setting where they could just talk positivity and, business and just uplift each other. Like it was just, I always talk about like little stuff like this, like, sis, where you at? Where's my stag? Because we she would definitely be down to have done something like this or get something like this on like maybe like once a month or just like it's definitely something that I would be down to do. I feel like that's something that somehow trying to figure out how we can incorporate that into our lives or whatever or whatnot. So in addition to there's them uplifting and being having that safe space with each other. That's so important of having a safe space because we are women. We are so hard on each other as women, and sometimes, especially when different type of females are mixed in one group, some people can't. You don't always feel safe to say something because, unfortunately, there's always somebody that's gonna somehow have a twist or have something to say about what you're saying or whatever or whatnot. But needless to say, they created that. They had it lit or whatever or whatnot. Like I was in absolute love. Good job, Tati, on that. On the flip side, though, the guys. So no, did I mention that? No, I think I might have just forgot this part. Like basically, so yes, outside of that, they did tattoos. So they tattooed some of the guests or whatever, the female guests that had came in. A lot of them had meaningful tattoos and why they wanted to get certain tattoos or whatever, whatnot. So now that we've hit that, they did tattoos at the girls' event at Tati's thing. The guys over here high as hell off of edibles and ain't even make it out to even catch no females because they was so loopied out in the zone and munching down on some good old food. At the same time, I hate the way TV portrays what a high is like. Like I just hate it. It just freaking annoys me. The blue, 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 blue. That little screen like yeah, sometimes, but it's not like that all the time, and not like that for everybody. So, nonetheless, they out here again, and I mean everybody, like all the guys, even Alex, y'all, is out. So that's how like this is like like a thing or whatever, whatnot. Like all the guys are out. Even this guy that seems to be this other extra guy that's hanging around. I don't know if he's like maybe part of Caesar's team. He's like an assistant, a manager. I don't necessarily know, but all the guys are out. They're lit. They're having a good time. They're just whatever, right? And basically, how that the craziness of how that ends up is Rock talks about how what was he talking about? He talked about how he had lost a tooth or had a tooth. Basically, that something had happened with his tooth or whatever before. It had got chipped or something or other. Probably that same tooth ends up falling out at at the guy's jank at the guy's night out, like whatever, like how. And when I say everybody is weak, but how could you not be weak? How did you go from talking about having this experience to literally losing your tooth in a matter of, and all because he bit down, I guess, on the fork too hard? Like what? That's what I said. When I said This was an uplifting episode. You just had to be in good mood to get spirits because there was just enough laughter and giggles going on that it just had you like, what is going on? What is up with the teeth? Bucks over here getting new teeth. Rock over there losing a tooth. Like, let's get this together with the teeth or whatever or whatnot. So, when C's goes and checks up on the girls at the shop or whatever or whatnot, like he ends up telling Crystal like, "Yo, you gotta check on your boy." Like, and she was like, "Nah, like he better get that tooth back in before I get home." Like, girl, like how you just gonna pop that tooth back in there and it just be over? But speaking of when C's popped up at the shop, how you gonna be like? First off, 8,000, 4,000. When I say, I don't know why this goes so hard, but I'm going to be using that. I'm going to need you to take all 4,000 of that and sit down somewhere because you're not sitting on 8,000. You're not sitting on 8,000. I'll, y'all just wait because I'm going to be finding every reason to use that. Whether it may not make sense, if it makes sense to me, I'm going to use it. If it sounds right to me, I'm going to. I feel like that was just we, and I feel like when she talks about Tati, when she talks about the book that she's reading, I do believe I have that book and I've read that book, and it has to be this book. And I found the book on Amazon. She calls it the P book, and I really think it's that. But mine is called the P prayers, not just the P book. So I don't know if it's the same book or not or whatnot, but nonetheless, that book is a good book. But either way, like that book as well is about like the feminine power and how we have much more power than we know about or whatever or whatnot. And so that's why I feel like this gotta be like the same book or whatever or whatnot. Oh God, you have to get this book. So nonetheless, I'll probably actually link it below if you for those like who might want like who need to read this book. Like matter of fact, if you're a woman, you definitely need to read this book. Period. If you're a woman born female, you need born. I do mean born, and not no offense to anybody else, but if you're born female, you need to read this book. So, um, just because I just can't speak for somebody who wasn't born female, so they wasn't technically born with these genitals, so I can't really say that you have this power necessarily. It's not my place. I ain't trying to offend whatever. You can buy the book if you still want to buy the book, but I'm just saying, women born women need to buy this book. But nonetheless, I'm gonna link it in the description below, and I'm digging all up in my women's hoods right now. So my bad, y'all. So we it's just to say that right we as women we have more power than what we think we do, than what we know of, than what we're aware of. And yes, don't be letting these men and their little 3,000s touch us and our little 8,000s when they don't even have the same organs that we have. They don't even have an organ that is based for pleasure and then gives off the same amount of nerve endings. Are you serious? Sit down, 3,000. I'm using that like all 2022, all 2022, maybe 2023, we shall see. So basically, we get a little, y'all know, like on this good old reality TV, it's here and there like we actually get like some A, B, some sometimes C list or whatever whatnot. And right now he's well relevant right now because I basically Jannard from Power, showed up on Love and Hip Hop or whatever or whatnot. And it looks like basically him and Teddy have like like a good type of a good like friendship, possibly even business relationship as far as like the acting is concerned. And basically Teddy pulled up on him. It's kind of like basically like get like his ear as far as like him going into acting, and then as well like him just like telling him how you know he's basically trying and as well trying to as well needs to manage helping C's out with Black Ink, but as well trying to pursue himself as a an actor. So I feel like I've seen True to the Game on something, and actually it low-key Teddy Loki got me interested actually to watch it. I feel like it might have been on Netflix before. Maybe not, but I definitely feel like that True to the Game, I've seen like that picture trailer somewhere or whatever or whatnot. But not only was he in one and two, the boy was in three. So he's been in all three movies, y'all. And as well has elevated been promoted basically up to a spot. It was like non-speaking roles, and now he's actually speaking in the third one. So in addition to like, hey, like, this is what I'm trying to do. Like, yes, I like Black Ink, and no, like, I'm not just the guy that just sits on the couch. Like, I've been out here, like, trying to get my own bag, doing my own thing, taking acting lessons. Like, he's really been like, and like, we really was sleeping on Teddy for like a good little while. And I think I had said that back then, from knowing that he was the guy that kind of like really is the reason Black Ink is really a thing, to, this music thing, to now this acting thing, and not really knowing that he was out here, and C's didn't even seem to know that he was out here and making movie cameos, and nobody knew it. So he's not to be slept on. We can't sleep on the guy no more. You can't, no, you can't. You can do it all you want to, but it's pure hate. You can't talk about the guy no more. He out there doing for himself, getting his bag. So with that being said, he's like, pulling up on Ted, and excuse me, pulling up on Puma and Caesar as Ted bot, saying like, hey, even when I'm not there, I can be there thanks to this Ted bot situation, because they were like golfing and they were supposed to be having a meeting, but this is the way that he's like, hey, now I can do meetings, I can always be there without not actually being there. So basically, he basically invites the entire team, he invites the entire Black Ink to his movie premiere. Now, the only thing about this movie premiere, because everybody's happy, everybody's hyped for it, everybody's ready to see, him in this light, is at the end, they're so hyped for him, they're so happy, like, whatever, but when he drops the bomb that, oh, well, I'm leaving New York. I'm going to be living in Atlanta to pursue my acting career. That did not sit well. Like, they're mad, they're sad. C's, on the other hand, is ticked off because he's like, we just had this conversation. Right, y'all did though, but also he told you that Black Ink is not just his thing. Like, it's not his only dream. That's his dream of having, the multiples. He feels like he can do both. And even he said it, like, I don't tattoo. I don't do tattoos. Like, and here I am putting all of my energy and all my everything into a tattoo shop. Come on, like, I'm just like, let's just be fair. Like, let him prove to you, sees that he can't handle both. Then that's something different. But if he show you that he can go out there and get the Milwaukee, you know, tattoo shop open, all the while still trying to act and pursue this acting career, hey, at the end of the day, I feel like we ain't got no choice but to give him the benefit of the doubt. So, y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all know if you're definitely, because if you're looking for a TV bestie, someone to chop it up with, talk it up with, argue, debate with, whatever, I'm here for it. I'm your TV bestie. Let's talk about some good old stuff. Now, drop some comments. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. And of course, give it a thumbs up so we can make sure we get this out to more people. And as well, let me know that it's helpful and lets me know that this content is enjoyable and I need to make more. Okay? All right? Yeah. So, nonetheless, I'll see y'all in the next recap. As always, I'll probably see y'all tomorrow, some of you tomorrow, and to the rest of you next week. All right? Peace.